God knows what that was. Dog's a bit agitated now though, so ready. So the last dice out the bag is German, and that will be for the observer. And he will call in an airstrike on the tank. So it's a fire order. Don't need tests for it. And what that means is I'll put a marker, which I'll use a different coloured order dice on the tank. And then the beginning of next turn, we roll to see what happens, what comes in, what kind of aircraft comes in, and what damage it does, what pins it does, and so on and so forth. So that's turn 2. Everything is on except the Puma. Cowardly Puma. 8 Russian dice. 8 Russian dice into the bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now most armies can only bring in 1 airstrike or 1 artillery bombardment per game through their observers. The Americans and the British are different. The British can call in 2 artillery strikes, or no, technically you get 1 free artillery observer, so you can bring 2 artillery observers in. And the Americans can call in 2 airstrikes per game, which is hilarious when your airstrike ends up blitzing your own tanks like it did on a game. Me and Chez played in a tournament once, tank war tournament. My Shermans got absolutely pummeled by my own airstrike. Ready. Turn 3, first dice, Germans. Oh, what have I just said? Right. Yes, the first thing you do is an airstrike. So, quickly look at the rules for airstrikes. And they're not in the rules summary. We'll go looking for them. We do have pages turned over in the rulebook for common. You know what, I'm going to stop it and have a good look. And catch his fucking fly before the dog does. So, brief interlude there. I'll sort some stuff out. Back at it, back with the airstrike, beginning of turn 3. As you can see, there's a marker on the tank here. Now the way airstrikes work is there is a chart that you need to roll on at the beginning of each turn now. So we see if an aeroplane comes in or not. That's a 5, I do believe. Double check the old rule book. Airplane chart 4, 5 or 6, here it comes. Right, so we now roll again to see what kind of aircraft it is. It's a 1, so it's just a strafing fighter, which probably won't take out the tank, sadly. I might put some pins on it now. Okay enough. Clean the dust off this before I put it on the table. Been on my shelf a little bit too long. So here is the strafing fighter. Yeah. Right. Now the way these work is 18 inches from where you've placed that marker. I can find my tape measure. Of course it's around the other side of the table. It's bound to be. So 18 inches, you put a marker. That marker can be anything, absolutely anything. So put that there, but we'll say that because it's on a hill, it won't work that well. So the tip of the nose is 18 inches away from old T34 there. And well, first of all, we find out if anything has flak. Now, pintle mounted machine guns count as flak, and these might shoot down the plane or chase it away. And I have to check the German vehicles for pintle mounts as well, because there's potential that they would shoot it down by accident, but they don't have anything pintle mounted, and neither does the T34, so nothing's got flak, so we don't have to resolve flak, which is good, because again, bad stories, bad memories. Righty, so then we resolve the attack for a strafing fighter. So, first of all, we roll for pins for unit. Yeah, my stomach there. For units that are within 6 inches of the target unit and within 6 inches of the token, which in this case, as I've just said, is the aircraft itself, the 109 there. So it's D3 minus 1. So units within 6 inches, you can see this, but they're within 6. Ooh, they're just within 6 and definitely within 6. Also the LMG squad is within 6, so is that medium machine gun, they're within 6. So that's 4 units I need to, 4 units, sorry. You don't test the target model, that takes different pins from the actual attack. So we'll test for, I'll try and set this up so I can test all of these units without messing about too much. Right, so they're all right. So the medium machine gun will start D3 minus 1, so that's 1. That would have been 2 minus 1. So he's on 1 pin. Germans. I'll put my dice. There we go. Right. So little white dice for pins. There's 1 pin for them. The LMG squad. Whoa, that's a 6. So that would have been 3 down to 2 pins. Two for them. The artillery observer, he takes a pin. And the SMG squad, they don't take anything. Nice. Alrighty, so that's the pins resolved for that, for this attack. but we haven't resolved the actual attack. So a strafing fighter, the target takes 1 additional pin marker. Infantry. So infantry, artillery and soft skin vehicles suffer 2d6 hits, but it's a tank. It just says armoured targets are hit on their top armour. So I don't think it takes any damage. Oh, I do need to see if there's any pins for the tank, actually. It does take 1 pin. And then it takes an additional pin for the actual attack. The way it's worded, because it does have a, it says infantry, artillery and soft skin vehicles suffer 2d6 hits with a +2 pen value. Infantry and artillery can go down to half the hits. Armoured targets are hit on the top armour, but does that mean it still takes? Can't remember how I played it in the past, quite frankly. I'll tell you what, I'll leave it as it is with just the 2 pins for the tank. You play it differently. If you think that attack, you know, if I should have rolled 2d6 attacks on the top armour of the tank, let me know. Well, that said, I don't think it's in the, I don't think you can comment on my videos for some reason. Strangely enough. Right. So that's that kind of resolved, so to speak. And the plane flies away and he doesn't come back. Put him back over on the shelf with the other heavy planes. It would have been good if it was a ground attack aircraft, because I've got a couple of Stukas over here. That would have been nice, but alas, no. So that's the yeah, air attack. Lots of pins, which might come in handy. And if you remember, I'd drawn a grey dice out before I started all that, because I'm a bit of a fanny. Shouldn't have done, but I did. So that observer now and his buddy are just a 2-man team that can run around. I usually give, well, in fact I always actually give my officers and their extra men SMGs so they can get stuck into a bit of close combat. It's always funny seeing 2 men charge into God knows what. But the aim of this game, which I didn't say at the beginning, is you need to kill more units than the enemy does. So maybe I won't dive those 2 men straight into the inexperienced rifle squad. It would be a bit daft, but well, that's getting a bit sidetracked as usual. Look, right. So a couple of pins on the tank. It'll probably impede it from doing anything this turn. Take that away, the marker. But I'd still rather, you know, kill it than anything else. So what we're going to do is Panzer IV will take a shot. I can turn the turret on this. Can't turn the turret on my T-34. Got stuck when I painted it, as you do. And he's going to have a shot at the T-34. So that's a fire order. He's also going to open up with his MMG, the hull mounted one, against the inexperienced squad, which is right in front of him, just in the trees, so they will get light cover. But we'll start the big boy with a big shot. So I'll check range and everything. The armour on the T-34. The medium tank. Oh, they're 9 plus, yeah, medium tank, 9 plus, and the heavy anti-tank gun is +6. And we get 1 shot, right? So, what's the range? Range 72. So let's see if he's half range. If not, it's +1 to hit. And he's within half range. He's 29 inches away. So it's a straight up 3 plus. I'd say he's hitting the side armour as well. Can you see that? It is a 3. So he has hit. Now the armour, so you roll a d6 and then you add the +6 for it being a heavy gun. Heavy anti-tank gun. The armour of the T-34 is a 9 plus, but because it's the side armour, that goes down to 8 plus. So, and basically, if I get a 2, I glance it. And if I get anything above that, then roll on the damage table, we'll find out. So I roll a 5 there, so that's a good roll. So that has definitely penetrated the armour. And we'll roll another dice to see what effect that penetrating shot has. Oh, that's a 1. So it's just stunned the crew. That is unlucky. Very unlucky. So the crew's stunned. Add 1 additional pin marker. Place a down order next to it and change its current order dagger down. It's halted and it can't do anything for the rest of this turn. And you also have to roll for turret jam. Now turret jam is ridiculous in bolt action. You would think it would jam in the position where it fired last, which would have been against the observers, but it doesn't. It would jam in the direction where it's shot from, which, like I say, to me is just, it's not right. When they bring out a 3rd edition, I hope they change it. Just double check the rules for turret jam. Yeah. Turret jam. Right, on 1 to 3, the turret doesn't jam, and I hope it doesn't. Yeah, that's a 2 I rolled there. So the turret doesn't jam. Good. Right, but that is an extra pin marker for the T-34. And I take a dice out the bag, a green dice for the Russians. There it is. and he goes down. He can't do anything. So, a couple of interesting bits there. It's another German dice. Let's try and bring that Puma on, I think. Try and roll it all the way down the far side of the board. So, we'll roll the morale check -1. Yeah, he's on this time, that's a 7. Can you see that? Oh yeah, that's rough terrain, isn't it? So you can't go through that. And I did say we'll call that the edge. So bring them on about here. It's more than we did. More than good enough. I'm gonna shoot. Oh, that reminds me actually. I'll go back here because he was also going to open up these medium machine gun at the rifle squad here, the inexperienced squad. Now I think earlier on I said every squad's got anti-tank rifles. I meant anti-tank grenades. Yeah. So like I said, the medium machine guns for the Germans have 1 dice extra, the better. So this is 6. We'll be hitting on 3s. They're in the woods, so it's hitting on 4s. And that is 3 hits. Now, inexperienced, they save on, let's say 4s. Yeah, so it will be 3 plus to kill them. Normally they're in the woods, so that drops down to 4s. So that is 2 casualties, 2 dead, 2 dead. I'll just take the back couple off. Bang bang. Now they also have a special rule called green, which means when they take a casualty, their first casualty, you roll a dice. On a 1, it's really bad. They take a load of pins. They actually take a pin just for being shot at there. Well, for being hit anyway. A unit can take pins and not lose. You can pass his save and throw, but you still take a pin as long as you get hit. So they're taking a pin for being hit. You only ever take 1. Unless it's multiple, like a barrage or something like that. It'll tell you in the rules. But the green rule is you roll the dice. On a 1, they take, I think it's d6 plus 1 more hits, and they go down. On a 2, 3, 4, nothing happens. They stay as they are. Inexperienced rifle squad. On a 5 or 6, they actually get upgraded to a regular squad, which makes the saving and everything better. So to 2, nothing happens. They stay as an inexperienced squad. And that only happens the once. They won't do that again if they get shot again. But they have taken 2 casualties there. So yeah, so it's another dice now. Russians. Now, one of the orders you can give a squad is rally, and that will attempt to remove pin markers. But if a unit has a pin marker, you need to roll a morale check. If it passes that morale check, minus the 1 for the pin, then you lose 1 pin marker anyway. So because most of these only have 1, it's not worth doing a rally order. So with that in mind, I will attempt to order the I'll order the artillery observer, who can, you can see the, what can he see? You can see the tank, right. He's going to order an artillery strike on the tank, okay, but because he's got a pin, I've got to check for it, roll for it. Well, that's cocked, but it would have rolled to a 3, I'd say. So that's 9, plus the 1 is 10. They're a veteran, so they've passed that. So they lose that pin marker. And the order is passed successfully. Now, an artillery strike hits a point on the table. You don't target a unit like you do with the airstrike. So, I'm actually going to place the pin marker right on the edge of the woodland there. This tank's gone, he can't move anymore, so he can't get away from that. I'll check it within so many inches. Hopefully catch that squad in the blast, and maybe even catch the German observer there as well, because barrages, and Russian barrages are a little bit more deadly as well. You roll 2 dice, pick the best result basically. It's d6 plus 6 inches from that point, the point where the dice is, in a radius, and then you roll to see how damaged or how many pins those units take. But it always hits that point unless you roll poorly to see if the artillery's coming in, and your opponent can move the dice so many inches, or you can as well. It's quite good. It's a lot different to the airstrike telltale, but sometimes it's a lot more deadly. We'll say that at the beginning of next turn that happens, just like the airstrike. So we'll have another dice here. There it is. Right. So, here. So the light mortar will have a crack. I'll check the range for the light mortar actually. Might need to move a bit. Oh. Range is 12 to 24. So you can't shoot at anything less than 12, and you can't shoot at anything over 24. So 12 is there, and then 24. Oh, so he could, yeah, he's going to target that squad there. That's where he's going to shoot. Now, bigger mortars have spotters, so which negates what I'm about to do. They would, if you had a spotter, or if you're within line of sight of an enemy that you want to shoot at, then you would hit on the 3+, then you take into range pins, blah blah blah. But because they're out of sight, you roll a dice. If you roll a 6, it's a hit. Then you resolve it. If they stay still where they are, and so does the mortar, the next turn it will be a 5 to hit. The turn after that, a 4 to hit. So mortars are quite good at taking out enemy mortars, and machine guns, forcing units to move so they can't shoot is what they do best. So roll here. So on a 6 it hits. Nope, it's a 5. So what I'll do is I'll leave that right next to the mortar, just to remind me that it's a 5 to hit that unit next time. But they'll probably move because that artillery's coming in. See that? Still got it, still got it. It's another Russian dice. So, what I'll try and do is come over here. Oh, kind of tilt down. I'll try and move this squad. They don't have any pins. They didn't get any pins from the airstrike, and they'll move up to occupy this side of the terrain. And just like the Germans, when they move, they'll run, they'll go so far, and then I'll have to halve the distance for the rough ground, rough terrain. Let's move those dice there for the tank. He is 6 inches, so he moves the 6, and then he would have another 6, but he can only move another 3. Run order for them. Next dice. German. German. So Putin's moved. That squad hasn't. That squad hasn't. Yeah. I think it's inevitable that this squad is going to have to move. These guys here. So we're going to run away as far as possible from that artillery dice. Try and get them to. Oh, ah! Timber. Right. I'm going to actually try and angle them back this way a bit, I think. And then, hopefully for the German sake, they won't get caught up in the blast of the Russian artillery. Sure if you saw any of that there. Right. Not many dice left for this turn 3. It's a Russian. Like I say, I'm treating the trees as open ground, not rough ground. So here we go. You see these gadgies. There they go, gadgies again. I'm going to call it the Gadgie Squad. They're going to try and assault El Tanco. Right. Now they do have a pin, they are inexperienced still. But the second lieutenant is within range to give them a boost. So it negates the -1 for the pin. So it's an 8 or under for these to pass this test. And they do, they get a 7. That would have put it back up to an 8. Which means they still would have passed. But they pass, they lose that. And they charge. Yep. Well within a foot. And again, like most of this, I'll have to brush up on exactly how you assault a tank with infantry. I'm pretty sure everyone gets a dice, and then because they've got tank hunters because they've got anti-tank grenades. So a quick browse at that. And because it stood still last time to shoot, that'll cause it there, that'll give an effect. Now it can't make reaction fire, I don't think, because it's already fired. I think we've never played it like that. Now I think if they didn't have the anti-tank grenades, they had to pass a morale check just to charge you anyway. I think that's how that rule works. If the vehicle advanced, then I would have to have all sixes to hit. But like I say, it was stood still, so it's 4 5s or 6s. And then how many hits they get, you roll a d6 and you add that for the penetration score. Right. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 left. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These guys need a 4, 5 or 6. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Ow, that's won't be interesting. So it's a d6 plus 4. Ooh, but they roll a 6, which is a 10. The armor of the tank is a 9, so that is that's what they needed to penetrate the armor. Let's see if she goes bang, shall we? A 1. Oh, it's crew stunned, just like the T-34. So that bad boy can't do anything for the rest of this turn, but he's already done his stuff. Unlucky there, inexperienced squad. You know, a free squad almost taking out the most expensive thing on the German side. I think it's the most expensive thing. Maybe the squad's big. But anyway, so close. Russians again. We're going to be proactive and attempt to move this squad off the hill towards those woods, maybe into those woods. Give them a bit, or maybe even just behind those woods. Give them a bit of cover. They do have 2 pins on them. It'll be a run order. I don't think they've got much to shoot at after much within range anyway. So veterans start at 10, they go down to 8 because of the 2 pins, and that's brilliant. So they lose a pin for passing that, so they're down to 1 pin now. I'll put that down there, and then definitely within 12, don't need to measure it. I'll just put them behind those woods for now. Germans can't call in another airstrike, so they'll be fine. Ready? like doing that, but like I said, I can't cheat against myself really, can I? Russians. Who hasn't gone? The Commander and the MG team. The Germans are pretty much hiding, aren't they? So I'm just going to move the MMG up to get a better. Just going to move this guy forward a touch. As you can see, he's got a pin, so I'll have to roll. See if we can pass it. Oh, snake eyes. Now, because he's got pin markers on him, and I rolled a double one, if he had, say, 4 pins, I believe I would roll a d6 and I got another one, but I think you roll a d6 and it removes more pins. If you roll double one, you get to remove more pins essentially. So I'll just move him up just to the edge of the woods, I think. And he's lost the pin because he passed that test. Right. Only a couple of dice left, I think. So I can't count them. It's 3 left. Germans. Well, the Germans, as Gene Hackman would call them. Right, a big squad. Poland. So you can see it here. Big squad at the back there. Don't have any pins. This is rough ground, so they can only go 6 inches if they run. They can kind of see through to shoot, but yeah, I'm going to give them a run order. Oh no, they can't run through terrain, so it's just an advance order. And it's just so they can take up some shooting positions, really. There's an MJ, let's stick him. And a pillar, with his loader there. Split these guys out with touch. A few up here, so you can see what. So that's an advance order, so they can still shoot. At -1 because they've moved as well, but so they're going to target the SMG squad that's on the other side of that building. Both sides are in the same kind of cover, but we'll still give them the heavy cover safe because obviously it looks like they're shooting through those walls. Got the cheat sheets. So it's a HIA veteran infantry squad, 8 with rifle, 1 NCO submachine gun who will be within range, and 1 infantry with light machine gun, requires a loader obviously. So that takes those 8 rifle shots down to 7. I'll do the rifles first. So we're needing 3s basic, up to 5s because of the cover, we'll say. And that is 2 hits. 2 hits from the rifles. machine gun. German light machine guns get 5 dice, normal light machine guns get 4. These guys get 5. It's the same again. No hits for the light machine gun now. And then 2 shots for the MP40 that the sergeant has. And he gets a hit. And it's a 6. I'll roll this again. If it's another 6, it hits the sergeant of the veteran squad, but no, it's a 4. Right, so I believe that's 4 hits overall. Guards save on a 10, save on a 3. And they've saved all those, so they haven't lost anybody in close range shooting there. That's a big advantage of cover. Seeing lots of games of bolt action where it's like looks like a Warhammer Fantasy battle table where there's a big open space in the middle and it's just a slaughter. No one would fight there. No one would, but it's a war game, isn't it, I suppose. Ready. German. There's a couple left now, actually. German. Commanders, that's all we've got left, really. I'm going to run the senior lieutenant up to the not entering into the terrain, just taking a bit of cover behind it. Germans again. The observer there done his duty to the fatherland, the Führer, and he's going to run back this way away from where the artillery is. Oh yeah, the artillery. Inexperienced squad. Oh dear. So the artillery come in and destroy the tank and that squad now, Craigie. And it is very soon because it's the last dice, last Russian dice. And it's their commander. Now. You know what? I'm just gonna put them on a down order. Don't want to do anything with them at the moment. Right. Turn 3 summary. A lot of people are running away from this artillery coming in. Tank had a pop at the Panzer had a pop at the T-34. Didn't work out. Just stunned the crew, which fair enough. It stopped that T-34 doing anything this turn. Russians pretty much advanced across the board. Mortar had a pop, missed. And the squad it shot at ran away, so they're back up to 6s if they want to hit anything, but I think everything's run away too far now for them to do anything. And maybe even run away so much that they're not within range now, because they were only just within range of this squad. They take the casualty of lost someone. Oh, crap. I wonder if anyone noticed that it's set up. Pick 2 riflemen up I put them in that squad when they should have been in this squad, so there we go. But I still resolved the shooting as it was. What's the dice? German dice. 5. There he is. Right. 6 German dice back in the bag. 8 Russian dice back in the bag. Turn this dice here for turn 4. Bloody fly. Dog kills all the spiders in the house, so I get flies now. The Russians went to lose quite a few pins there. In fact, I think they passed all the morale checks, so they could lose pins. Oh, one thing I've just realised. The tank should be on 4 pins. 1 for healing the fighter, 2 for getting hit by the fighter, 3 for getting hit by the tank, and 4 for an extra 1 for being stunned. So there's the 4 dice. He will probably have to rally to get rid of them. Because his morale checks will be at -4 because of that, if he wants to do anything. So again, this turn he probably can't do anything because he'll be rallying. In a rally order, you can't do anything else. Right. First things first though, baba boom, there's not much kicking about other than a ton of Russian infantry who are probably from Mongolia or Ukraine. Ukraine, yeah. Right. So we're all on the artillery table. See if it comes in or if it gets moved even. Right. Artillery barrage chart. I roll a 1, it's a miscalculation. And it moves 3d6 in a random direction. The order dice have little arrows on, so that's perfect. You can roll on them as a see where the shot goes to. 2 or 3 is a delay. So the Russians can move it 12 inches, and then you roll again at the beginning of the next turn, which is probably what the Russians want actually. 4, 5, or 6 Pfeiffer effect, and that's the artillery screaming in to do some killing. Right, let's see what's occurring. As a 3, that's what the Russians wanted. So this moves 12 inches. It's a bit like a Benny Hill sketch. It's going to move 12 right there. And then we roll again next turn to see if it comes in. See how far we can chase those German infantry. Right. So I'll just get a cinematic shot for Vazy loves these kind of things. Look at that. Russian greenhorns attacking a panzer. Right. Russian. So now we'll go another assault against the tank. Got very lucky last time getting that 6. I don't think it's going to happen again. Do we charge the infantry? No, there's an idea. Russian infantry charging into the German infantry. You can't run in rough terrain, but I'd say they can assault into rough terrain, you know what I mean? Normally, the player who attacks rolls their attacks first, then you can kill some of the enemy and that's less attacks coming back, but they're both in rough terrain, so it will be an equal fight, I would feel. That's what I'm going to do, because the Russians all have submachine guns, so they get tough fighters, which I will double check. I'm pretty sure gives them, for every kill they get to roll again, see if they kill someone else. Oh, Tiger Fire for the Panzer, I never even thought of that. Wow. Well, no one's shot at it yet. I don't like Tiger Fire as a rule. Another thing I hope they change if they've got version 3 coming out. Right. So, yeah. So, these guys are going to attack the Germans. I mean, not in trees of a cat-handed giant. See now rolling good, so I haven't set them up. And this isn't like 40k where you have to specifically set up touching bases and whatever. Just is what it is. And it is brutal. Right, so each one gets a dice, and there are 10 Russians. And both sides are veterans, so the Russians will kill on 3s and the Germans will kill on 3s as well. So a bit of a dicey gamble. Ha ha ha. That's just here. Yeah, killing on 3s because they are veterans. Regulars kill on 4s and then experienced kill on 5s, but like I said. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good, 6 kills. So like I said, the Germans remove 6 casualties and then the rest would fight back normally, but the Germans are in cover. They haven't taken any casualties. That's good. So they have 10 attacks coming back as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so the Germans have lost out there by 1. So the Russians win it 6-5. Now there are special rules for certain units that would make them, I think the stubborn rule, I think Japanese have it where you remove casualties, then you fight again and again and again until one side is wiped out. But because neither of these are stubborn, those 4 German survivors surrender. Here's Russia. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe a cinematic shot. I might take a photo of that as well, actually. It looks quite good. There's the combat that's just gone on. Russians won it, but they did take 5 casualties. So they're like half the squad. I'll stop this, take some